Hey, what's up YouTube? Billy back here with Christian Brothers Equipment. Got a little bit of a rare opportunity. Got a customer's unit in here. Gonna do a side-by-side comparison against our new Spartan lineup. So today what we have is a Scag Liberty Z, which is pretty much the beginning residential model for the Scags. This is a customer's unit. It's a 2019. Came in just for a general service. Has about 85 hours on it. I just wanted to kind of walk through and show some of the differences between the Liberty Z and then our Spartan right over there. So to start off with, our Scag is running some itty bitty little tires on the front compared to the Spartan. Now this Spartan here is a RZ model. This is our entry level residential unit. Now we're running the 25 horse Briggs on it, but we can also get the exact same Kawasaki FR 691V motor on this unit. So let's do a side-by-side comparison starting from the front to the back. The Scag comes standard with the 11x4 by 5 inch tire on the front. The Spartan is going to have the 13 by 6.5 by 6. So immediately you're going to have a much larger tire in the front end. Moving on from the tire, frame rail looks fairly beefy going across the front, but it goes down into a smaller frame rail going along the back. Your Spartan series, much wider, larger frame, and it's a one piece, so it's going to travel all the way back around the front and come back around again. Continuing on, deck access. On your Scag, there's no way to lift this up to be able to access your deck and your belts. The Spartan RZ, nice, simple, easy to get to belt access. Also, while we're down here, we run a double tensioner system. So the spring pulls against your belt, and then the piston pushes backwards against the spring, so you don't get that belt wobble whenever the deck's engaging. Speaking of the deck, on the Scag, not running quite as thick there. Looks to be about a 9 gauge or maybe even a 10 gauge deck, whereas our Spartan series, we're running that 7 gauge reinforced steel welded deck all the way around. Now that said, it is still a welded deck on the Scag. Not bad. As far as the way the deck operates, pretty similar. Push down on the pedal. It is a spring assisted operation, and then you can set your deck height right through here. The Spartan is going to be the same. Push down on the pedal, drop your pin for your deck height selector right there. Now continuing on up, we have our parking brake system on the Scag. It's a little handle, you reach down while you're sitting down, grab it, pull it up and down. Not too bad. I've seen similar systems that were more difficult. On the Spartan, we pretty much revolutionized it by putting your parking brake right down here. So you just tap down to release on with one pedal, push down on the other one to set your parking brake. So no more of the bending over looking for the brake. Now as far as the handle system, pretty simple, pretty basic. You have your handles move up and down. You might have a little bit of adjustment inside of here. On the Spartan system, pretty similar. Simple, basic, move up and down. Goes over into the hole. The seats, gonna be fairly comparable. This is entry level, so your Scag's just gonna have a basic seat mounted to a plate. Same as a Spartan, a basic seat mounted to a plate. Now, you can always do upgrades. I'm sure you can do on both units. Both of these are base models. Coming down in behind the seat here, we have our belt access, finally. A little bit, anyways. It's kind of limited as to what you can get to, what you can access inside there. Most of the time you're going to end up having to drop the belt or drop the deck, lay down on the ground, get up underneath there and figure out what's wrong if your belt's come off to be able to get it back on. Continuing on, they didn't make it very easy to access the hydraulic belt either. You can see right down inside there. So we have our hydraulic belt. Simply runs through a tensioner, power both the pumps. Can't really get to the pumps, have this nice little welded shield around it, which means any sort of servicing you're going to do is going to be really fun to get to. Now, in comparison, on the Spartan, everything's pretty much open. You can see the belts in there a whole lot easier now, and you can see that double tensioner system and how it's set up and works. But also we have our battery right here in the open, secured, easy to access, easy to get to jump off. We have our belt for our driveline system, easy to get to, and then our parking brake system actually goes back to this bar here to engage or disengage the parking brake on both systems at the same time. So the Spartan made everything a whole lot open, a whole lot easier to get to, a whole lot easier to clean. As far as if you blow out or wash out your system, you can see everything and reach everything. Continuing on, we have our fuel tank on our Scag right over here. Simple pump system, runs up through, has a gauge right here, kind of shows you how much fuel you have left in it. The Spartan, they actually have a little bit different. It's a drop-in tank. It drops into the outer plastic, still runs down through to a fuel pump system. And instead of a gauge on this model, they actually do clear slots on the front, which lets you see your fuel level as you fill the tank up. Wow, to the key system. Scag, very traditional. Have your starter key here, your throttle, choke, PTO, and then an hour meter. Pretty good design, pretty easy to get to. On our Spartans, we run a all digital system. So instead of a key, it's a pin pad. You input a code, and then you have your throttle, your choke, PTO switch as well. Now, this system's also a little bit smarter. It's going to tell you service intervals between oil changes when you need to get your oil changed. It's also going to tell you number of hours of operation on the motor, as well as number of hours operating as far as the PTO goes. So it's going to track how many hours you've been mowing and how many hours you just sat there idling. We also have a nice little cup holder design and power. So you can drop in a cell phone charger there, charge your phone, drop it in the cup holder while you're mowing your yard. On the Scag, they have a small cubby for a cup holder, which probably pretty easy for a drink to fall out of there, especially if you hit a bump. So, and of course, no charger. Now we get to the back of the system, the motor. Now this sucker is running the Kawasaki FR691. Pretty good motor. Our Spartan, the one here has the Briggs & Stratton 25 horse, but this exact same model comes with the exact same motor, the FR691 motor. So apples to apples, we can get you the exact same motor on there. Now, I do want to point out while we're back here, the overall shroud design. So the Spartan has a lot larger shield wrap around this motor. That way you don't have dirt and dust and grass and tree limbs piling up on top of the motor, causing you issues, or also possibly piling on top of the muffler. Now the Scag does have a small shield which wraps around to give some of that same sort of protection. It just doesn't go up as far, so you might want to be careful with these, watching this little cubby hole right here. It's a good spot for grass to pile up and then start a nice little fire back here. Not something that you would want. Also, comparison tire sizes. It's running a 20 by 10 by 8 inch rim. The Spartan comes with a 22 by 11 by 10 inch rim. So we're two rim sizes larger and also running a wider tire and a much taller tire. It's going to get you a little bit more bounce for those bumps, a little bit better clearance. I don't know if you can see the way the two of them set up. They're quite a bit difference on that Spartan. Now, as far as the hydraulic systems go, the Spartan runs a Tough Torque 400 hydraulic system. Your Scag is going to be running a Hydro Gear hydraulic system for the model. They're both going to be decent systems. They're both going to do what you need to do as far as residential goes. More of a personal preference. Some people are going to say that Tough Torque is a better transmission. Some people are going to say Hydro Gear is better. It's kind of up in the air. It just depends on what you want. A couple of the things I missed here initially. On your Spartan, you notice we have an angled deck on the front end and a doubly reinforced cutting edge going all the way across that front end, as well as a caster wheel on the outside of the deck. On your Scag, I have two casters in the front, one off to the side over here, and none on the cutting side. As well as they don't have that reinforced lip there. Now their deck does curve under, has some strength, but it's not going to handle a hit quite like the front end of that. So the question that everybody wants to know though, how much do they cost? So our Scag Liberty Z here with the Kawasaki is going to come in about $46.99. That compared to the Spartan RZ with the same Kawasaki motor, $42.99. That's a $400 difference straight off the bat. Now, if you're not attached to that Kawasaki and you're happy with a Briggs & Stratton, you can get that 25 horsepower for a cash price of $39.99. That's well over $600 difference between Scag's residential and ours. So in closing, which is better? You decide. A Scag Liberty Z or a Spartan? While you're at it, come on down to Christian Brothers Equipment in Sulphur, Kentucky, or give us a call. Come take one of these suckers out for a test drive. I guarantee you'll be happy with the results.